Well, this is your almost 85-year-old nanny coming down from that energy high of yesterday. Wow, was I wound up. I was out there walking, I was scabbing my head off and just having one of those good days. Today's a good day too, but I'm a lot calmer. You know, I started the day off this morning by having Moose set the alarm clock last night for 6:30, 6:45, because Micah and Colleen are going away for a little short weekend up to the wine country, and with another couple to celebrate their birthday. And since Brendan is away at college and Ryan is away at college, little Shani, I say little, but she's now a junior in high school, is alone with those two great big happy doggies and the cat. And so tomorrow night and possibly tonight, I am having a sleepover with my granddaughter, Shannon. And boy, am I looking forward to that. So I'm still energized, doing what I love, and maybe it's a throwback and back to the days of having an overnight with your best friend. I just love Shani, and we sleep in the same bed. We sleep in mom and dad's bed, and we watch a little TV. Mostly we talk, and that's so fun. Well, what I'm doing with my new hairdo, a lot of you loved it, thank you. And I do too, because I found out that I can still put my hair up in my celluloid combs and do some of those fun hairdos. But at the same time, it's a hairdo that's promoting my growth of split ends. I did cut about that much off, as I told you. And I just put some, not the hot rollers, but I put some of my normal little rollers in with the clips just to give it a little bit of oomph. But I think that hairdo is gonna have to do it for this video. So as I started to say, I asked Moosey to set the alarm for 6:30 because Colleen had asked me if I would take Shannon to school this morning. My kids seem to always like the wine country. It's not too far away, maybe 3 or 4 hours up the coast, and they have a great weekend. They can always find a neat little old Barney type B&B to stay in, and they enjoy it. And by the way, today's the day Dub and Barry fly back to Boston and begin their New England trip for 2 weeks. So exciting. And anyway, so I, you know my sleep patterns, they're crazy. Let me just interject. I just looked in the mirror, and you know, we've talked about my eye makeup and the boo-boos that I make all the time. Well, I just noticed, no, it's on this eye, a black dot. And yes, it was partial makeup that I got up there, but I do have 2 or 3 of those reddish brown little spots on my eyelids, and I try and cover them up with eye primer and eyelid primer and things. But I did notice that I just put something on it, so maybe it's gone. I also had some stuff here. One of these days, I'll get it right. I keep saying that. Probably won't. But at any rate, so I fell asleep early last night from my energized day, and did one of those wake up at 12 or 1, and then I was up for a couple hours and went back for an hour or 2, and then I was awake from like 5 on. And you know, when you know you have to get up at a certain time, you're afraid to go back to sleep. So I didn't go back to sleep, and at 6:30 I heard this teeny tiny buzz. And by the way, the alarm is on Moosey's side, so it's way on the other side of the bed, far away from me, probably 6 feet away from me. And I heard this little buzz, just faint. Good thing I was awake. That sounds like if your phone is off and you have it in your lap and you hear a little buzz, kind of that. And it went on and then stopped and went on. Well, I sat there for about 10 minutes to see if Moosey would hear it, and of course he doesn't. Moose wears hearing aids, but he hasn't been wearing them lately. We have an appointment next week, hopefully to get new hearing aids. It's getting worse. And finally I thought, okay, I'm getting up because that thing's not getting any louder, and it didn't. As it turned out later, I found out when I came home that Moose had it on some kind of snooze and the sound was down. So I would have been in deep hot water if I had been sleeping like a normal person. So anyway, when I went outside, it was, now I'm not going to say it was pure rain, but it was definitely stuff falling from the sky. I guess we call that, what do we call that? No, it was like dew falling. Everything was wet. And I've been trying to clean out the shed a little bit. So I had pulled stuff out, never thinking it would rain. And I had a bunch of stuff that I had to quickly haul into the shed back and forth, some clothes and things. So you can never count on the weather, but at least it was cool. And I was able to put a sweater on. So Shani and I had a nice drive. Always loved to ride in the car with the kids because we get a chance to talk. And before I left, Moosey did wake up and he said, do you think you can stop at, not Del Taco, because that's my fave, as you know, Taco Bell, and get me one of those crunchy breakfast, whatever they are, burritos or whatever. It was a big round thing, crunchy. And I don't usually go to Taco Bell because I like my normal egg and cheese quesadilla with extra green sauce. So on the way back, I did like a good wifey, go pull through a Del Taco. Nope. I pulled through a Taco Bell, got Moose his little crunchy breakfast, whatever. And then I went to my Del. And since it was, by this time, an hour and a half later, I was able to get my normal breakfast and my iced coffee, which I'm just about finishing up. So when I came home, I looked around again. Now, as I went further down into Orange County, yes, it was real rain. It wasn't, I know the word I was thinking of, condensation. It wasn't the condensation that was buzzing around here. As I went further south, it was almost real rain. Not hard. So I think it's beginning to look a little like fall. You know, as I read all your beautiful comments about my last video, the video where I was just so energized and chatting away and full of, I had to get out and run, and then at the end I had this woo way down where I was emotional at the end of the video. And one of you lovely ladies made a comment, and I thought about this later, and she said that my energy and my burst of energy and my going down into the depths, and it wasn't really the depths, but it was highs and lows of this last video, was probably a result of this pandemic that we've been in for the last 2 to 3 years. That we've been so confined and so used to just staying in, being afraid to catch something, being afraid to go out. So as a result, not seeing family, not seeing friends, restricting our lives, and wasting years, precious years that are part of our future. Now, our future is out there, and we should be living the best years of our lives, especially those of us in my age bracket. I don't think too many of you are there, but our future has definitely narrowed. We don't have the time that young people have. We don't have the time that 50-year-olds, even 60-year-olds have. So darn it, we gotta live the best life. And as I read many of your comments, a lot of you were saying, oh, I wish I had your energy. I don't have that energy. I'm not getting out. I miss seeing my friends. And I thought to myself, I have a video for you. And it might be tough love, but I hope it's gonna be my next video or the next one. And I have some things that I would like to share with you from my experience. And those of us who are older, we have a lot to teach other people about what we've lived through and how we've done it. And I am going to put out a video about things that you have to stop doing, or we all have to stop doing, things that we can start doing to live the best life that we can for the rest of our lives. Our future is at stake. And now that we're getting out and things look like they're brightening up, except on a day like this, we can do it, ladies. We can do it. And I want you to come right along with me with my highs and my chirpy attitude, as you say. I definitely live a positive thinking life, and I don't know how to live any other way. I always have. I have the ability to overcome and to accept things, but not to let them ruin my life. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So stay tuned for the next video, and I hope I'll be able to do it in the next video. By the way, I did dig out those fawn color booties because I was anxious to see, oh, God, I put this on wrong again. There, that's right. I can't believe I keep doing that. All right, so I wanted to see if those fawn color booties were a good match to the purse. And maybe you've seen these on me. Now, they are a little darker, but they are a fawn color, and they're so comfortable. This heel is a great heel. I can even wear a little bit more of a cowboy heel in these booties, but booties are the way to go. So, not quite. I love the bag so much, I might have to get another pair of booties. Lighter color. You know, I did see a pair in the thrift shop the other day, and guess what? I put them back because I thought I had these matching. You know, since they'll be far enough away, I think they might go. But if you hadn't seen this bag that I got at the thrift shop with the beautiful leather braided arm, shoulder, my vocabulary is not there this morning. I think because I've been awake too long already. I need to go back to sleep. But this bag is real suede. It's one of those slouchy bags. It has little rests on the bottom, and I love this. I told you I'd been wearing a lot of crossbodies, but I love this. It's comfortable on my shoulder. And you know, I think with these far away, it might be good too. So, just wanted to show you those booties because I did mention them. We've been getting this for years and years, and it's cataloged very, very nostalgic of all the things that you had way back in the years. My mother's perfume, Cody Lamont, you can still get that. You can still get all the nightgowns that you slept in back then, the flannel nightgowns. Everything nostalgic. The little muumuus, the quilts. I just love this. And all the candies that we had when we were little. The ribbon candy at Christmas and cookies that you don't remember or that they don't make anymore. Wonderful catalog. Do send for this. And they did for years and years sell Dayton nut bread in a can, very moist. But then they stopped selling that. For some reason or other, Debbie found this last week and said, look for a box coming in the mail. You're getting an early present. And this arrived yesterday. And yesterday, I did film when something very special came in the mail. I asked Debbie, please, if you can find in the Vermont store, when you hit Vermont, some old Dayton nut bread that my mother used to make sandwiches for me when I was a little girl, and it was my very favorite of all sandwiches when I was little, even when I grew up through college. And I believe the Vermont store catalog was still selling this when I was married and had little children. Loved, loved, loved it. I'd have it with cream cheese, and it was the best. Debbie found this in the catalog. Now, I have not been able to see this in the catalog. However, in the meantime, Muzi requested Dayton nut bread with cream cheese for breakfast this morning. So I had to whip up my ring light and film this because I promised you I would have this with my spiced chai latte. Well, I'm not going to do that today. We'll do that together tomorrow. But however, Moosey and I are going to dig into the Dayton nut bread right now. And so I'll film it with you. You can still actually taste Dayton nut bread. Now there are recipes that I've seen that you could make your own, but this looks wonderful. Look at, oh, smells wonderful. Look at this. I see tons of dates and it's moist. It's not a very large loaf, but it's beautiful. And I'm going to cut a couple of pieces right off the end now. Look at that loaf. Oh, look. So Moosey and I will just have one nice thick piece this morning, and you and I will have it when I do my spiced chai latte tomorrow or the next day. Now I will definitely wrap this up again as tightly as I can. I'm going to leave it in its covering just to keep it fresh. And I will wrap it in tin foil to preserve it and make sure it's just as moist and lovely as it is this morning. And Moosey is about to get his breakfast. This is the taste test.
Yeah. Delicious.
I've sparingly had only one slice each this morning. Moose thought both of them were for him.
I wanted two.
No, we're spreading this out until I either make it or buy another one.
Can I do a bunny hole?
Do a bunny hole story.
When I got out of the Army, I was with one of the major CPA firms in New York. But we were living paycheck to paycheck. So when the guys went out for lunch, I would have maybe 45 cents in my pocket. I couldn't afford to go to lunch where they went. So I said, oh, I got errands to do. And I would go around the corner to a chain called Chock Full of Nuts. Chock Full of Nuts was a coffee company, made coffee, you could make it at home, but they had this chain of restaurants. What you could get there was a date and nut cream cheese sandwich for 17 cents. That was my lunch.
In New York City. Wow.
Couldn't wait till the next paycheck. I'd go out to lunch with the guys.
I think you might have taken me there a couple times when I'd visit you in New York City when I was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. That and the orange room. I took you to the orange room a lot.
Yep.
You know what that was, right? Needix.
Needix,
A hot dog on the corner.
And then there was that, I want to call it Schraff's. Remember Schraff's restaurant too?
No. That was expensive. That was at least a buck for lunch.
Do you think any of those places are still there in New York City?
No, I wouldn't know.
Well, let's savor our Dayton nut bread right now.
You bet.
I had to cut 2 big pieces for us. I was going to share that with you this morning, but since we had it yesterday and I brought home the Mexican breakfast this morning, we'll do that another time together. So I still haven't had my spiced chai latte. I'm finishing up this. Yesterday in the morning, Moose said, you know what I would like to do today? I would like to ride over to Bridget's house and visit with Bevan. Now, I don't think I told you about my granddaughter, Bevan, Bridget's oldest daughter. She's 14, and a week ago, she's a volleyball player at her school and very active, plays a lot of sports. Well, she was fooling around in the backyard on the patio a week ago, and I think this was after one of her volleyball games, and she was on a skateboard, not the normal kind with the double wheels front and back, but single wheels where you have to balance it. She was just starting off to do something, and she's a pretty good rider, she told me, but she fell and she broke 2 big bones in one leg. She broke the tibia and the fibia and the tibula, something like that. Well, anyway, the one big bone, which is the shin bone that goes all the way up to the thigh, I understand is the biggest bone in your body. She broke that, and she broke the ankle right around. The x-rays were scary. So they had to get the ambulance. Bridget went through the same exact thing I went through with Moosey a month ago. And she was 12 hours at the hospital. Thank God the doctor decided he didn't have to do surgery. He put her to sleep and manipulated these bones to the point where he could put the leg in a cast. Her leg is in a cast from her foot all the way up above the knee into the thigh. And she's not in pain, but she's getting around on crutches, which is making both her mom and dad very nervous because these kids think they can go fast and she's not putting the crutches in the right way. And you know, kids, they think they can do it their way. Oh, it's tough. And so we wanted to go over and see her yesterday. So I called Bridge, and she said, oh, that'd be fun. I said, what can we do? We want to bring something. Let's bring lunch. So she told me that Bevan's favorite lunch is from the Country Bakery, I think it's called. Maybe you have those in your area. We went to one back east, I think, a long time ago. It's wonderful. They have wonderful stuff. And she wanted, so did Bevan. Bevan and Bridget both wanted a chicken pomodoro panini. And that sounded so good that Moosey and I decided to get them too. So we left here and we stopped at the, it's about a 35, 40-minute drive to Bridget's house. And I went in and I ordered these paninis, and oh, they smelled so good. And we went over and had a lovely lunch with them. And what Bridget has had to do, she has had to totally rearrange her dining room into the living room and take the dining room table and all the furniture and put it in the living room because she had 3, fortunately, lovely long sofas, comfy sofas, and Bevan cannot go upstairs. So I don't know when she'll be allowed to do that. But fortunately, there's a bathroom right near that room. So either dad or mom have been sleeping on the extra couch with Bevan downstairs. And it's quite an upheaval to have something like this happen. And all her friends have been calling and visiting. And I think Bevan's getting bored. She hasn't been in school all week. Hopefully she's going back next week. And I hope she'll be careful. So we had a wonderful visit with them, and I just loved it. One thing that I put on this video, and you're going to see, she wanted to go to her last volleyball game to support her teammates. So Dad arrived just in time at 3 o'clock that they both agreed she could go, but she was to sit with Shep and be very careful on these crutches. I think this is her first time out. So off they went at 3, and we left at 3 as well. But before she left, she asked Mom if she could have her little makeup kit. And I put a little video on here of Bevan applying just a little, sweet young girl type, just to brighten up. She needed some rosy cheeks, and I was amazed. I could take lessons from her. She did a much better job than I could. And Moosey was amazed. I don't think he's ever really watched someone as he was mesmerized by little Bevan taking stuff out. She had a light and a mirror. Bridget set up this little place for her at the end of the dining room table. And I put it on here. It was so cute. Well, here is our sweet little Bevan, our granddaughter, who is Bridget's oldest daughter. And She has broken her tibia and her fibula. I probably have that wrong. She is in a cast. It's been happening for a week. She is home. And today she has decided she wants to go to her volleyball game to support her friends. But what are you doing now, sweetie?
I'm just getting ready and putting on some makeup.
Look at her. How good you're going. You do a better job than I do. Look at you. Now you put concealer on?
Yes,
And
bronzer.
Bronzer, and what else?
And then my blush.
You have your own little makeup bag there?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Look at those 2 little dots, one on her nose. I'm taking lessons from you, Bev. Let's see what she does. That's a little sponge. Look at that. Hey, ladies.
You're going on YouTube.
You can learn from this, ladies. Tell my lady friends how you broke your fibula and your tibula, whatever.
I was on a skateboard, or like a rip surf. It's like a surfboard but with 2 wheels, and there was like a balance beam that wasn't put away, and the like edge got caught and then I fell.
Oh, where's your...
No mascara?
That's my next.
Oh, wow. We love you, Bevan.
Love you
Look
too.
at their beautiful doggy, Buck. A beautiful white
Do we have to roll it?
English cream it's called. And she is a lover. There's Bevan's crutches. There she goes. She's off to watch her friends play. Wave bye, Bev. Bye. Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. Moosey's outside. He had me put a couple of those bird treats out for the birds. I don't know if the birds are out today in the rain or if they decided to just have a lazy day. But I have to make some more headway with my shed out there. I started to take some things in that I put out to hang up and air and dry in order to bring them in. I'm in the middle of the old switcheroo of clothes and shoes and whatever. I keep a lot of my out-of-season clothes in the shed. So I think I have maybe a busy afternoon, or you know what? I might just go back to sleep because I've been awake since quite early this morning. Maybe I'll do that. I can do whatever I want today, right? So, need I say, thank you for all the responses. You know, we're chatting back and forth. You're not just giving me a sentence saying thanks for the video. You are sharing things with me that I just love, and we are calling ourselves friends, and that's what it should be. We are friends. I remember in my youth I had 1 or 2 pen pals in California because at one point my grandmother lived out here for a while, and I had a couple of pen pals out here, and those people became real to me after a while. So that's what you are. You are my real friends, and I thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. And those of you who have not subscribed yet, please think about it. You know, even though I am in my 80s, I don't feel that way, but we have lived a long life and we've learned so much along the way that I think what we have to say is relevant, and you have to start believing that what what you say and what you are relevant, and so are your words. And I think that we learn so much from some of the young people, from the middle-aged people, but you know what? They can learn a lot from us too. So start putting your thinking caps on and stay tuned for my next video. I hope I'm going to get it up, and maybe we'll also, as we're talking, share that spiced chai latte. Love, love, love you all. Bye for now, and God bless us all.